All right, hello everybody. I'm back again. This time I wanted to go mm, over building a character. Um, I kind of went over it in a very long video I made about probably a month ago at this point, where I was talking about explaining the secondary stats. And it's something that I hint at, like allude to really, in my videos showing the new characters when they come out and how I build them up and do different tests. I do it that way for simply because for people to see what impacts the character the most. And from those tests, the thing that you can see that makes the most direct impact on a character's, I guess, impact on battle, is more or less the way to say that, is, and I guess always will be, the RC cells. RC cells are immensely important. You want the highest rating, you want um, the best stats possible, auction cells, um, these cells that they show or that they give you in Point Shop. Um, though I wouldn't use these on everybody at all. Triple attack on an HP cell is not something everyone needs, but it could be useful on the right characters. Stuff like that are very important. So I wanted to briefly go over that because it's come up in conversation a lot. Um, And it's something I repeat a lot when helping people in the official Discord and on the side. So I just thought I would go over it really quickly. So we'll just take any character. Here we have Yakumo Omori. He's already 6 stars. I have him S minus. I have all the stuff unlocked and equipped, right? Um, what you need to focus on when you're building a character. Um, RC cells are character independent. It's great to focus those to your character, like I have here, where I have the triple wit on him. Um, but aside from the obvious level up, star up, the next most important thing is going to be your limits. You have to get these to 9. If you do not have your limits done on a character, I will show you with Ayato here because I can see his. Oh, maybe I can't see his level 1. Oh, no, I can. So these are what your secondary stats look like without your limits done. And these are what they look like when they are done. You see that massive increase there? Though they're secondary stats, attack, HP, def are all very important. These are equally as important, I would say, for a lot of reasons. We won't really get into that because I can talk forever. Especially since I've taken my Adderall, I'll talk your ear off. But yeah, you want to make sure that you get your limits done. That is without question um, something you cannot skip. The next thing is just kind of accumulation of things that are minorly important overall that really impact how the character performs, um, which would be your bonds. You want to get these done. You want to activate the middle. You don't even need these on or leveled up to activate the middle. You just need them activatable. And so you activate these, you can activate the middle, and then you can level these up. They're great free stats from grinding. What is that? Exploration. You get those little pieces. Um, so yeah, you get that 10% damage increase and damage reduction. That's huge, very, very massive for any character. Um, I do wish there was some variance for support characters, like give them like 15% damage decrease or damage reduction. Um, but I'm not. That's not. That's neither here nor there. It's the same for everybody. You get the same stats. So here, just go through all these characters. I think it might differ once you go down. Nope, they're all the same. So yeah, bonds always give you 1,000 attack, 800 def, and 27,000 HP with this plus 10 minus 10, which is fantastic. Um, I I genuinely can't say any one of these next three things, so bonds being the first one, next one being potentials, and then the third one being um, your ability sphere level and tier, not the rating of it. The rating is very important, but the level and the tier, which we'll go get there in a second, the bonds, and then unlocking potentials and equipping anything here. Um, of course, you see I have all rainbows and all these sixes. Don't pay attention to that. We're trying to focus on how you can build your account and your characters. Um, but yeah, all important. Just free stats all around, no matter what you do with these. They're just free stats. You get these materials passively by doing dailies because you're going to run exploration because things ask you to run exploration. You grind enough of them, you get all the materials for this. Or you can actively grind them, which is what I do. And I recommend. It's expensive, but not being able to do this when you get a new character sucks because it's just free stuff left on the table until you get it done. So yeah, bonds. Potentials. Potentials are significantly different because you get this exclusive upgrade. Um, which again, another qualm I have is they don't tell you what the exclusive is after you've unlocked it. It's just added to the text of the ability. And you can see it if you didn't know. To see which ability gets your exclusive, you can see it here. It's called oppressed. But outside of here, you see these four passives. Whoops, see these four passives. Um, the one with the gold circle around it is the one that's the exclusive, as you can see on all these characters. Um, so yeah, unlock, get these done. Um, I will quickly like go over the characters. I don't want to make this an extremely long video, go into extreme detail. Just I want to give quick little blips because people ask about potentials all the time. Unlock potentials. If they're an offensive character, no matter what, you want Smash. This is the single best potential right now. It's just way too good. The damage increase when attacking into any amount of shield is insane. And it rolls over after you're done attacking the shield on that same attack. So, say you use, um, I would imagine if you used an AoE character, if any shield is present, no, it wouldn't be any shield is present, it'd be per character. But, like, no matter how much shield is left, if it's 0.111 or 0.001% of the shield, you're attacking a shield, that damage rolls over, and that's included in the initial damage calculation. It does not change once you clear the shield. I've seen this in World Boss against Tatara. Um, he gets a shield every round. When I hit with a character, when he doesn't have shield, if they have smash, they do less damage than they do if I finish breaking his shield and deal damage to him. So just keep that in mind. More free stats. I have rainbows, I know. The upgrade on rainbows has made them fantastic. But yeah, smash is the best one. I really like this one for teams that have a lot of shields. If you're in the SSS tier, you're running a bunch of those, and you get the shields every round, and you have a character that you're playing that you know has a lot of characters against it in advantage. So, like Psyche and Wit characters, great to have this on as a secondary. I don't have it on him. I have Undermine because I know he's going to be a prime target. Um, shit, I'll just give a quick rundown of these so you understand. But these are great when you're fighting somebody who you know is going to weaken you or start stacking those weakened states. And you know you're going to get a shield because it's at the end of your turn if you have a shield, empty weak or reduce weak by 1 point. If you have SSS, you get a shield at the beginning of your turn. If you play CCG, CCG's Reaper gives you a shield when he attacks. Like, these are great, but you have to be methodical about how you use them. This is a must use on any character that you want to be damage focused. Um, it's just so good. Artifice, honestly, not that great, in my opinion. I used to think it was really good, but then the ultimates started doing less damage, and it depends on the team that you use. If you're using someone that prioritizes extremely high attack, so any team with like Ayato Rebel Wing, um, and anyone that has like just insane stat buffs. This one will actually do you a lot of good, um, but it takes a lot of thinking and thinking about what your team composition is and what you want to use. Um, I still wouldn't prioritize this on anybody unless you just really need it. Type. Oh, sick. It does sort by type. Okay, so we'll just go down this way. Initiate is really good if you want to be able to burst your enemy down really quickly. I would say that honestly, a stack of 6 initiates with 2 smash into an Anteku team, probably the best you can do to try and kill them before growing teen Hinami uses her passive to heal them. Just an idea. Initiate is not a bad one at all. So like you really can't go wrong with it. But do keep in mind it only lasts 1 or 2 turns. Um, Potent, it's a filler one in my opinion. The game loves to prioritize this in because the game loves to prioritize using ultimates when you use auto. But if you're playing RTA, you're not going to run into a lot of situations where you use your ultimate as soon as you get it. You would rather use a character skill because it'll likely be much more necessary. We already talked about Smash. Again, best one in the game. We've talked about Eliminate. You just have to know your team and when you can use it. So, like my Aogiri team is not highly rated. I mean, here I'll show you real quick, and then we'll come back. So here's my Aogiri team. I have 2 SSS, 1 S minus, a D plus, and then a B plus. Um, so there is the caveat that if you use Mr. MM, you will get a shield every turn. And then again at the end of your turn, as long as you don't receive any damage that breaks your shield in that turn, you're good. But eliminate would be good. And again, it's good if you know that there's a prominent team that will weaken your character. Where did she move up? Oh, she actually does have higher CP than he does. Weird. Anyway, we'll go back. Okay, so I'm going to sort by type. But yeah, eliminate is actually really strong. Are there any that I'm missing? I don't think so. Undermine is a bit tricky. It's really good because it can catch your opponent off guard and unsuspecting. They're like, "Yo, I just got this great level up. This is actually really strong." In that instance, so I have them on my Yakumo Omori warrior because I know he's going to be the target by everybody. He's the highest damage dealing character on my Aogiri team. So in RTA, he's target number 1. And I'll say that's a great idea because the team's hard without him. Um, but yeah, so potentials. Now we'll quickly run through teams and talk about what potentials I would use. What potential? How do they attribute I would use if? So we have type, level, obviously, and attribute. Um, so assuming you don't have rainbows, um, it does get a little bit dicey. I On most characters, I do not recommend mixing the potentials between types because the linkage effects aren't all too great for that. Not only the linkage effects. Now, when you're getting into really low potential levels, 10, 35, 80, 120, 170, and like I mean we can look at just this one. So we got 10, 35, 70. I don't have a level 4 of this, but it's not much higher. And then 170, and then you get up to level 6, and it's 255. Between 6 and 5 is a massive decrease. Between 5 and 4 is going to be another pretty steep decrease. So if you're running at least all sixes, you don't want to mix and match because the lost stats that you gain from that potential will be how do I say this? Will be more detrimental to your team, or will be more of inhibitor to your team than gaining the linkage buff. The only one that I will disagree with that on is mixing, if you want to, def and attack. But again, these are 300 attack each. Like, that gives you the opportunity to have 2,700 attack, and that's a massive increase. You can mix it with def if you want. Those are the only two I would use. I would not particularly worry about HP on most characters. So, that said, um, with where Anteku sits right now, I would make Toka Flamewing, despite how her kit and her active skills. I would you kit Toka Flamewing as attack because she's not the one you want to have charm in a lot of cases. Um, that's getting better and worse at the same time because more strength characters coming into the meta. We have the Anteku Toka, we have Ayato still running around, and we have Lightning God as the prominent strength characters. Um, you don't really want to make her the prime target. And I say that because you want her to kill things. If she gets hit with Lightning God and Passive Seal, that sucks. You miss a lot of free stuff from that. Um, if she gets burned down by just an onslaught of attacks, like you want her to stay alive. You want Charm to go to somebody else because you want her to deal the most damage. Because that's kind of what she does. Yakuma Omori, attack, easy. Like, I mean, Bro's stats are top five, I want to say, in all categories for these stats. Um, but you want it to be attack. You want him to deal as much damage as fast as possible. Amon, again, attack. Um, these kind of ignore some of these. If it's not Aogiri, they're auto deployed. I just wanted to set up an Aogiri team and go. Um, so don't pay attention to what I've used, other than um, what I'm saying. Like, I would prioritize him as attack. I know attack isn't his best stat, but he can deal a ton of damage. You want him to deal that damage. Ayato Wings of Power Seeker, the Psyche one, attack. And especially on him, you want attack, smash. I run initiate because no matter who else you play, he's going to be following up with that damage every attack, 3 times a turn. So you always want to play other cards. You always want him to be able to deal with shields. Say if they're charmed, if like what have you, he will deal more damage and break the shield. Um, anything else is going to be rough. This Ayato, uh, I don't know enough yet. Attack would be good for sure. His attack is the sixth highest in the game. Um, like it's actually third highest in the game, or fifth, third, tied for like the third highest number. You have in categorization of attack, you have Shachi, like 10% above everybody else at base, like 4,000 higher. Then below that, you have a group of 3 characters, and then below that, you have Ayato and somebody else. Don't remember who, don't have the information right off the top of my head. Attack is really good. Problem is, he is an AoE that does not have impale, death ignore, or anything, block chance ignore. So that's kind of rough. Granted, he does do destruction damage, but if you're hitting into shields, it's gonna like you don't really. I don't want to say you never crit on shields, but you don't crit as much. This is gonna be a longer video than I wanted to be. I'm so sorry. But that said, I would still prioritize attack, maybe death. He's pretty fragile. I'm not gonna lie. Um, he gets folded fast. So you want to try and keep him alive somehow. Def would be a good way to do that. Since Def Ignore is not a prominent thing in meta anymore, with Ayato Rebel Wing going out, and CCG's Reaper is good, but he's not as powerful as Ayato Rebel Wing in killing regard. But so attack or def are going to be good here. You're not going to be mainlining him. Um, if you are, I'm sorry, I don't have a lot to offer. I would say probably attack, maybe HP. I think he benefits off of HP um, a good bit. So either of those, but he's a single target damage dealing character with a high um, um, percentage multiplier. I would say attack still, but HP would not go bad poorly here. But again, that said, think of him primarily as an assist character and put the potentials on him that you're not using on your main team that you want to buff on a main team character that is obtaining his assist buffs. End of story. Tachara, def or attack. Um, I like I like building almost all of my characters attack oriented because people don't expect it from a lot of characters. He hits really hard. Um, he he hits really hard with attack. It just works that way. But def is also a really good one because he can tank the hits. Um, Same thing here, def or attack, for the same exact reasons. He can tank hits. His def and like defensive stats are really good. Block chance is really freaking high. Crit resist, crit def, really freaking high. His crit rate, terrible. Like his attack, mediocre. Like not mediocre, but not among the top. And that 2,000 points difference does make a difference, which is why, again, I say stick to one attribute. And if you're going to mix, maybe def, but I kind of advise against it. Centipede attack next. This one is a difficult one for a lot of people, it seems. Attack, straight up. Attack, attack. I know his HP is the highest in the game. I know his def sucks and you want to buff his def. Doesn't matter. Don't care. You want him to hit as hard as possible so he gives you the biggest shields possible. That is the end of how he works. It is like turn brain off, bam, hit. Bro, what does Ultra Smite do? I want to say regular Smite ignores it doesn't ignore block chance, it just ignores def. I could be wrong, it might be the opposite. But or no, Smite ignores def and block chance. Ultra Smite reduces the block chance. So if you don't have 6 stars and you just have Smite, you're ignoring block chance and def. Attack only. I have her set up as attack. You could do HP when I'm on Taku main most of the time, but whenever you set her up, um, you can do HP because it helps her shields, but her damage is honestly not great. Um, Notice she's attack equipped, yet she's still 2 to 3,000 below, if not more, than the other characters. So you want to make sure that she deals damage, um, because you just don't want. She's not built to just be a stall character entirely. Um, Granted, she does that, but that's not how she's built. She's built strangely, but you want her to deal damage. Also, when she deals damage, like, or when she gets low on health, she deals damage, she gets lifesteal. Like, yeah, you want her to deal damage. Shachi, attack. End of story. This Toka, I genuinely could not tell you. I'm going to have to guess it would be attack just based on my quick overlook. Um, but yeah, I don't think there's any difference there. Same as all the other backup characters. And honestly, backup or like supporting ish characters, not extremely damage oriented. Def or attack. Uh, HP or def, 100%. I would even actually go def over HP on her, because her block chance is actually absurd. She doesn't have any RC cells on it. Her block chance is 53%. And her crit def is 66, and her crit resist is 52. You want her to tank hits because she doesn't deal damage. Granted, if you're playing an Ontaku team without Owl, you might want her to be the charmed character, so you might throw HP on her. But Eto, full support character. Um, Def is good, but also HP is really good because of her ability. Um, where does it say it? Uh, I think it's her passive. Yeah, damage boost. If she's the only surviving member, that she deals damage equal to 20% of her HP instead. So HP. Only HP. His entire kit built on HP. His damage built on HP. You want HP. End of story. That's it. HP. Um, Attack. His def and HP are low. His attack is really actually quite strong. You want to really hone in on that. Make him deal a lot of damage. Attack or def. I like her with attack because she actually can deal a lot of damage. And then also, her retaliation attack is impale, which means it ignores def, deals more damage. Again, attack or def. Um, I don't think it does anything with her HP. It's all the HP of the character that she's buffing. Yeah, def, attack or def. The Renji Yomos are not notorious for dealing damage, and even if you kit them to deal damage, they're not going to deal great damage, but they're still not bad. Again, attack or def. His defense stats are also really good, but his pen rate is really good, so you probably want to go attack on him. Like, he's pretty strong. Um, though her kit says this part for Bloodburst, you want to kit her as attack. And I mean as attack as possible. When I was using her on Anteku, it was my 3 triple attack cells with Shu, Mr. MM as her assist, shreds teams. I was doing like 6 million, 7 million damage with her and Sen and the buffs. Also attack, obviously attack, obviously attack, obviously attack. Um, Def or attack because he does have that counter, and then if he's the last remaining character, he does attack. Def, 100% def on her. And then we're getting into characters that don't really matter. Itori is also fringe meta. Def, Hinami at 6 stars gains Impale. If you're going to use her on your team, attack. But Def is not going to be a bad one. And then I don't think there's anybody else that's really worth using. So yeah. Oh shit, I never went over the ability spheres, and I have like 2 minutes left. So, God, tying back to the third thing. So what do we get? What have we gone over? We've said that RC cells have the biggest impact on output of damage. But those are universal. Don't have to worry about those. Like, yes, you have types that whatever. Ignore that. You just need high rating and good stats, and look for auctions for that. Limit is the second most important thing. I would say the third most important thing is the ability sphere rating. UR is absurd. Always adds an immense amount of extra stuff. Then we have bonds. You want that middle one, and then the free stats there. Potentials we went over, recapping on that, and I already gave my thoughts on the types and the attributes that you want to use on characters. Wrapping up, tier of this is mildly important because you get this buff boost based on your tier, and it's an increase based on this, on the basic stats added. But the level is absurdly important. And then this is another reason why the tier is absurdly important. Let's go let's go back and look at an SS one. Look at this, 55,000 and 2,000, 136,000 and 4,000. And granted, it does vary depending on the character. So you see those numbers quickly moving by. It does vary depending on the character, but again, you want a UR sphere. The high tier is good, but you also you have to level these up on the characters you plan on using. It's just no question. So hopefully this helps. Sorry I rambled for so long. I meant for this to be like a 10-minute video, but it's not. So if you have any questions, ask in the comments. That's how I would build, and that is how I build all my characters. That is the main focus. Going into knowing a new really good character is coming out, I recommend not using the limit store if you hit that up every week and you are trying to get those mutators out of there. I don't recommend that at all because if you don't get a large amount of limit crystals, you won't replenish. You'll have characters without limits. They'll be unusable. And I mean, they are utterly unusable. I had when Christmas Hinami came out, I had gotten her to 6 stars with no limits because I didn't have the crystals because like 4 characters came out at once. And I used her. I was like, oh hell yeah, 6 stars, got bonds, got everything, just don't have the limits. We'll be good. Nah, she got shredded. I put Owl in at 3 stars with full limits. Bro was actually super strong. So you really, really need your limits and all those things. And it takes a lot to build these characters. I have a data sheet that I keep, and it has the information of how many limit crystals you need per character, how many of each type of upgrader, how many of the types of bonds things you need. The tablets are the word. Um, and what else do I have? Same for potentials, I believe. Like I have all this information written down, so if you need a reference for it, you just go look, and I'll put that link in the description of this video, as well as a bunch of other information. Probably, I'll probably timestamp this later on, um, but I'll put that link in the description first. And yeah, check that out and keep that in mind and keep a stock. Don't waste your limit crystals. Um, I had to spend to get these 2 characters up this week. I had to spend all of my SSR crystals that I was going to use to finish upgrading my reliable partner, but these were more important. So, oh well, shouldn't have bought all those mutators. So yeah, again, if you have any questions, message in the comments. You can find me in official Discord. Um, I have a Discord that I can invite you to where we chat about this stuff a lot. Just let me know. All right, later.